go live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We are live now, ready to proceed.
Gang and gang. Hello, everybody in the virtual world. My name is Reggie, and I will be your host for this Berkeley Slam rewatch. So today, we're going to be rewatching a live stream of one of our previous slams. This slam is where we featured Ashia Ajani, who is also here. We also have one of the competitors and the DJ for the night, Colin, DJ Patrinacy, and we have another performer, Chardonnay, as well as performer and your resident bout manager, Tino VH Jr. And we're all going to be rewatching this slam, commenting, providing behind the scenes info, the juicy bits that you miss if you're paying attention to the poetry. So, I mean, yeah, I feel like that's really, the rundown of the night. So without play this thing and talk a little bit.
All right.
I just popped up.
If you're ready to start the show, make some noise. Okay. That was like your mother dragged you out the house to go on Sunday morning when you really just wanted to stay in bed. I need ready to start this motherfucking show energy. So let's try that again. If you're ready to start the show, make some motherfucking noise. That's more like it. Welcome to the Berkeley Poetry Slam. My name is Reggie, and I will be your host.
I am by the time I get on stage.
Poetic and artistic beauty. Who here has never been to a poetry slam before? Liar, you fucking work here, but there are some people who are telling the truth. A poetry slam is where we take feelings and put numbers on them. It's like algebra, but with your emotions.
You can tell.
No, it's a competition.
By the fact that my face and my mannerisms have changed, but my facial expression has been the exact same thing.
The poets in your area.
I don't even think I think that's the first time I blinked.
Pull out your cellular devices.
This nigga didn't blink when pulling that shit out.
And turn them motherfuckers off. I don't want to hear a beep, a boop, a bop. I don't want to hear a single ringtone during a poem. We're here to listen to live poetry, not whatever default ringtone.
You're feeling good. You looking good. You feeling good. You're delivering the news, Reggie.
Off in the middle of the poem.
You're delivering the good word.
The good news. The gospel.
We are here to listen to
hear these poets we got here.
I saw you pull out your cell phone because this is a live event, which means it's interactive. Let us know how you feel. You snap. Try snapping with me. You can stomp your foot, say let's go in poet. The more love you give this stage, the more love this stage gives back to you. So we're gonna practice. DJ, can you cut the beat real quick? I know it's Megan Thee Stallion. I love her, but we're gonna practice. I have this lovely mission statement of ours, and I'm going to read it like a poem. And you're going to give maximum love like it's a poem. So, Here at the Berkeley Slam, we challenge the notion that anyone needs to be given a voice, or that anyone, anywhere can be a voice for the voiceless, regardless of whether you
audience that night.
are never voiceless.
Some were a little bit too lit.
They are being overlooked and intentionally ignored. Our top commitment is to provide spaces where persons of any and all genders, sexualities, ethnicities, abilities, and ages can tell their own unique stories. Stories which convey their attitude, their personality, and their character. Special thanks to Voices of Today for informing our mission statement. Give it up for the poet.
Everybody give it up for the Reverend Dr. Reginald Henry.
Fuck you. You were waiting for that. You were waiting for it.
The more love you give this stage, the more love this stage gives back to you.
Yes, preacher.
Next for the judges. Judges, please read your scoreboards. I got 1 judge, 2 judge, 3 judge, 4 judge. Where's my 5th judge?
Is that Rico Nasty? Because I love her on a spiritual level.
So, judges, you have the hardest job tonight. You have to judge the poetry openly. Judges will be giving scores from a 0.0 to 10.0 scale. 0.0 being the worst piece of shit you ever stepped in your life. It's like you were walking out your house and you dog shit. So like you go inside and change shoes and then you step in another pile of dog shit. So you take off your shoe and go to step inside and then you step in the dog shit again, but now it's your socks. And that's just the 3.0. A 10, on the other hand, is the best thing you've ever heard in your life.
3 times? Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Potato pie.
That's your own damn fault.
Right.
I say more. There's not a lot of zeros.
Because by the second time you saw the dog shit, you knew where it was.
We already doing it, and not one poem has come up yet.
Whereas the night goes up, goes on, and we might get a little schmiz, get a little drizz. Poetry starts sounding better. No, don't do that shit. Because it's not fair for the people that go first. So to prepare you, we will have our sacrificial poet. They are not competing, but you're gonna score them as if they are. Any poems you like more, score them higher. Any poems you like less, score them lower. Poets, y'all have rules too. Poets will be competing with their own original work. One piece. Like the anime, if you forget, just think anime and you'll know how many pieces to do. But most importantly is no costumes, no musical accompaniment. Please no nudity. Please no nudity. There are plenty of shows in the Bay. What? We don't want to see, we did not consent to see your genitals.
Period.
But most important is the time limit. You have 3 minutes and 10 seconds to say whatever the fuck you want. After 3 minutes and 10 seconds, you'll be deducted points by our scorekeeper, Javi. After 4 minutes, you'll be played off stage by our house DJ, DJ Patrinity. Give it up for our DJ in the back. If you hear music during the middle of your poem, it is no longer the middle of your poem. We have a lot of poets to get through tonight. So if anything, if you're not gonna respect the time, respect the poet that comes after you, because we want to make sure we can get through as many people tonight without leaving at 11:30. So, unless we want to be in here till midnight, 3 minutes and 10 seconds. All right.
Even if you want to be there till midnight,
here at the Berkeley Slam,
please keep it to 3 minutes and 10 seconds.
Little tradition It's a traditional gimmick.
It's ancestral gaslighting, and you know it.
I said it's tradition. It's the same thing. Called word of the day. It's for an extra point. Poets have to force the word of the day into their poems. It's a gimmick, but it's a way for the audience to get involved and force these poets to say something weird in their poem. So who here has a weird, long, I don't know, unknown word that they want to see poets force into their poem? Yell them out. Yell them louder than this. Can we turn the music down, DJ? Wait, what? Obsequious. Okay.
Didn't know what the fuck that meant.
Excoriate. Polyjuice. You're on the fucking list. Okay. It doesn't have to be weird. It can be just some weird, random ass word. Like we had. What? Snowball? No. No.
I don't even know what that was, but I know who said
No. But did you say snowball? That's the fucking word of the day. The word of the day is snowball. Can you please come up to the stage and tell the audience what snowball means?
Again, I am clinically stupid. I do not know what snowball means.
So snowball can either mean like the actual snowball that you throw your friends as a snowball fight, or you can kind of snowball somebody by like covering up their eyes or like hiding something from them. So either meaning.
That is not the
Snowball.
meaning that I was expecting.
Yeah.
When he said that, I was like, what? Okay.
What?
Learn something new every day.
The second meaning
If you use snowball in your poem, you get an extra point. Judges, don't worry about it. Our scorekeeper will handle all extra point type stuff. All right, so we have the rules for the poets, the audience, the judges, word of the day. Are y'all ready to hear who's gonna be in this slam?
Look at me.
All right, audience, I need a oop after every poet's name. So let's try it. Poet, poet, poet. All right, the poet shall be reading in this order. We got Victoria, we got Jackson, we got Upside Down Ghost, we got Thaddeus, we got Chardonnay, we got Alicia, we got Javi, we got Gabrielle, we got Tino, we got
This was the night half the list didn't even stay.
and we got Kalalia. Give it up for everybody who's going to be touching this stage tonight. All right. Are we ready to start the show? It does not sound like you're ready. I said, are you ready to start the show? No. We need our sacrificial poet, someone to get these judges calibrated. Everybody say spill the blood. And give it up for our sacrificial poet, Doria!
I am 3. My grandfather arrives and I am excited to see him. I run into him with my toy, so you spank me. I never see him again, soon after he dies. I'm 4. I walk on my toes. You try yelling, punishment, hitting me. It hurts less than when I try to keep my feet flat when I walk. I am 5. You ask how I see myself. Tomboy, I say, to a reaction that conveys confusion and disdain. I learn that adults don't want to know the answers to the questions they ask. I am 6. We head to the doctors and go in the back. Children aren't supposed to have this. We eradicated it with antibiotics and vaccines. You fret of being found unfit. I struggle to understand your anger and how it could possibly be my fault. I am 7. I play with the boys because the girls see me as an outsider. The rowdy horseplay breaks off my front teeth. You take me bloodied and crying to the dentist. He shrugs and covers them with quickly discolored plastic. I am 8. I have a bully because I act like a girl. I try to explain, but you act like it's my fault. Finally, you show up at the bus stop to yell at his father. The bullying moves elsewhere, out of view. I am 9. Every time the teachers talk to you, I'm in trouble. The edge of autism and intelligence is untidy and threatening to authority. You tell me if I'm not good, you'll get rid of me, send me to an orphanage. I am 10. My friend encourages me to take off my clothes in the bathroom with him and take turns masturbating. You can tell something is wrong, but I don't know what. You won't talk to me about sex or my body. I am 11. The heavy, dark hair starts showing up. I pull the first and the second, but eventually I can't keep up. My body betrays me. I hide my puberty and myself from you to read or use my computer. I am 14. The high school I'm at, the same one you followed all your brothers to, slowly eats away my expectations that my body will ever be mine. After being naked in the locker room once, I string together one lie after another to ensure it never happens again. The boys around me treat me with the same disdain as you. I am 15. The acne is so bad that classmates call me pizza face. You accuse me of not washing my face, but the spots are all over my body. The doctor prescribes antibiotics and soon the breakouts vanish. So do the random illnesses which plagued me for years, the ones you accused me of faking to get out of school. I am 16. I find excuses to sneak out of school and visit the vast sea of books endowed from the first Gilded Age. Despite 2 giant cabinets of cards, neither points me in the direction of finding folks like myself. I am 18. You talk to me as we work together to clean up after school, tidying up the mess our peers left so our tuition will be reduced. When I say I'm a male lesbian, you snicker and then never mention it again. I am 19. The internet comes and brings the answer I never found before. When I tell you who I am, you reply, if you transition, I support you, but this relationship will be over. Scared and alone, I do nothing. I am 25. You tell me you'll move in with me, but only if I marry you. I wonder if I should say no, but I convince myself a bad partner is better than no partner.
Say no.
I'm 30. You alternate between trying to please me and resenting me because you can't. I resent you for having the chance to be the person I am not allowed to be, and squandering it by being yourself. I stop hiding who I am, and it becomes almost a joke to your family. I am 32. I'm done with my job and my marriage. Desperately, I spend time away in hopes of recovering, but instead the scales get brushed from my eyes. I start over. I make new friends. I try dating one of them unsuccessfully. I consider moving away and plan where and how, but I am still scared there is not a snowball's chance in hell I will be accepted. I am 33. I never managed to tell you that I am interested, but somehow we end up dating anyway. You share your unplanned surprise with me, expecting me to flee. I don't and share mine. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it, you tell me. I am 40. I have reinvented myself, but a friend's post-lunch apology is followed by a story I know. The story is mine, too. I come home and tell you what I need to do. You encourage me at first, but when I am suddenly freed of the shackles of my own fear, you resent my progress, marking it selfish, and lash out. I am 41. I have come out to my family and somehow things are okay. You wait till a day where I have returned from an awful experience to tell me you're done. You want a divorce. I push and you start counseling with me. Months pass before you put any effort beyond that into our relationship again, so I do all the work myself. I am 42. I took counseling to heart, but when I am hurt again, you lash out until I finally admit I need surgical intervention. You tell me we should see other people, then leave me homeless when I do. I am 43. I finally make that move I considered years before. Now, though, it's to find friends elsewhere, somewhere I might actually get insurance to cover my surgery, and then I do it. While recovering, I meet someone who wants to share her life. You ask if I still have time for you. I'm 44. My partner is sick. Twice more I have surgery while struggling to care for her. Tired of suffering, she decides she can't anymore and ends her life. Our apartment ceases to be safe. You tell me you have no space to take me in. I am 45. I move again to the only place people will have me. I start over. It is enough, not because it is enough because it has to be. I am 46. I have survived. I am here.
This poem off stage because it was a fire fucking poem.
Right. It's always the worst when someone gets played off stage, but honestly, I really enjoy it. Not enjoy it, but I prefer it when it's the The sacrifice, because then there's no penalty on like competition. It's not like a time penalty is going to mess up your standing in the slam. That's really what I hate. Because like there have been some fire ass poems that like would have won the night had they not been 3 minutes and 30 seconds long. So you know, if you're ever a sacrifice, that's the time to bring the long ass poem. But again, like don't be taking like 5 minutes, like 4 minutes, I guess. But
so
like,
what Reggie's doing right now is acting like they're blind and can't see the scores, but they're actually really high and seeing double.
Of a 5.0.
I think that poem's available on on our Queer Mountain stream.
Oh, is it? That's cool. That is nice to know.
Shout out Queer Mountain.
Yeah, shout out Queer Mountain. That's one of my favorite shows.
9 and a 10.
Really dope artist there.
It was co-signed by a straight person. Oh shit.
Question, can anybody remind me whether that judge who gave a 10 on the sacrifice kept that energy up all night, or did they fall off?
Now, first, I trust you to continue through the night in a professional and consistent manner.
Whatever has been professional about me.
We've already had one poem, and we haven't gotten all 10.
I was like, that did not happen.
We're all very disillusioned with this current democratic process.
Oh yeah, Queer Mountain also is streaming. Bay Hosting is streaming it
we get
June 9th.
fucking
So
loud.
it's coming back online. Moving online. So yeah.
Shout out to all of the shows that are moving online. I hope as a community we are able to continue this online presence. Because I think the connections that we've made as a community in the virtual world are important. And we can sacrifice that just and go back to fight, which we shouldn't even be doing anyway.
But you,
so, but shout out to Queer Mountain. I hope first online show is successful. No, technology can be a bitch, but
and they said they wanted to be judges, and I needed judges.
Wishing very good luck.
Judges, beggars can be choosers. I'm not gonna just hire somebody for a position because they fail. I ain't gonna hire them for a position because they can do something for the corporation. Audience, what the fuck is this? Amazon.com? All right, on deck, we have Jackson.
Oh my God, fuck Jeff
to the first poet coming up in the slam.
So we'll be here all night.
Start clapping and give it up for Victoria!
If I remember correctly, I don't think this person showed up.
Oh, I remember this.
Hyped her
Watch
up
me
for
get back
nothing.
on stage. Watch.
Victoria. Victoria,
like 3 times that night. It was so awkward. I'm not a smooth person on stage at all.
Victoria going once.
We can tell. This is why we love you, babe.
Dude. No. Victoria going once. Victoria going twice. Sold to the highest bidder. Okay.
I was the highest bidder. I was high and I'm bitter.
This is a great start. So we're just gonna keep it moving and come back. So on deck we have Jackson, but give maximum love to the actual first poet coming up on stage. Give it up for Thaddeus!
So glad the next person was somebody that was there.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I was waiting for it.
I'm all y'all buds. How y'all doing tonight? How you doing? It seems as though I'll be blessing the mic firstly and foremost, so bear with me. Reflections of not a mirror, but of an ocean. Oh, to how my feelings run deeper than any fathom can ever measure, or that of any song would rhythmically depict graphically or orally. Like the Titanic, ships have sunk and sank into me. And how we wept after souls lost to sea. Eyes full like a broken kitchen sink, lost in the wind which makes us think. The time that elapses in the infinity of one blink. Hit with a snowball called introspection. And like that nigga Jesus, we resurrected. Thank y'all.
Can we pause this real quick?
That last line was a banger.
Real quick? We need to discuss.
That last line was a banger.
Okay.
That last line was a
Like
banger.
this nigga Jesus, we resurrected. I don't know if y'all understand like the importance of like Blackness right now. A lot of shit is going on, but also like a lot of shit is coming up. Juneteenth is in a couple weeks. You know?
Oh man, that's a 1-year anniversary for some wild black shit.
We'll talk more about that later. Maybe on Juneteenth.
Or you can check out our other live videos.
Celebrate Black art.
Yeah.
Celebrate Black people,
celebrate
man.
Black artists. Remember, while Black History Month is only once a year, Black artists are creating 366 days this year.
Period.
So, you know, don't relegate your support to just February, especially now during COVID. Support Black artists. We're literally creating the basis of all of the culture that you consume. So, you know, if you see a Black artist, you know, tell them you love them at the very least. At the, you know,
that you appreciate them.
Appreciate them. And if you really appreciate them, show them that you appreciate them with your dollars.
Exactly. That message will be heard very well. When there's
red ain't and neither is watercolors, so you know, support Black artists. That's all I gotta say. Support Black artists. That was just a great line.
And don't get your ass beat for saying the N-word when you're not Black.
Judge it.
Period.
Do we?
I like how, you know, turn the camera.
Right.
I love Smino like to death. Like this man, like Smino, if you're watching, just know if you ever wanted to be gay, I got you. If you're looking to experiment with your sexuality, Smino.
Can you keep the scores up until I
What
read
a
them?
fucking poet.
I mean,
Oh my god.
Just look at them. Just look at them. Look at them, sir.
7.1 goes up to a 7.5, an 8.6, an 8.7, and an 8.9. Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet. All right.
You know how hard it is for my brother to play this song and for me to not spend the entire time singing it.
Next poet coming up on stage. Give it up for Jackson!
Was Jackson outside this whole time?
A mood.
7 years ago, my Catholic cousin confided at Christmas that the baby boy baking in her belly would, like me, have cerebral palsy. So I exclaimed joyfully, "That's fucking awesome!" This is inappropriate, apparently. My family yelled at me. They all in one familial voice said, "Jackson, we're all very glad we're not like you." Oh, wait, let me explain why I was so excited my baby cousin has cerebral palsy. Because I get to be in his life. Do you know the world gets better? We reach out into the future and we say, I guarantee your life will be better than mine because I am in it to make damn sure that that happens. So, Julian, I have some advice. How to mosh in a wheelchair. Find the biggest motherfucker in the pit. Go as hard as you can and hit it with your forearm. Because that's how you mosh with or without the wheelchair. And the wheelchair doesn't fucking matter. There are some perks to being in a wheelchair. Like we get to drink everybody under the table. We drink till we can't walk, and that's our goddamn starting line. There are some perks to being in a wheelchair. You know what crowdsurfing at that metal show? Like a chariot on fire escaping Hades with Persephone's snowball in your hand. And as you lurch forward like a chariot on fire being passed up to Olympus, those bouncers freak the fuck out. This has not happened to them before. And that's goddamn amazing. But honestly, impressing people when you're in a wheelchair is super fucking easy. Do anything at all and motherfuckers will be impressed. There are some perks to being in a wheelchair and it doesn't fucking matter, except when it does. Like when you're trying to get a lift line home to save some money, you got to get a +1 because your wheelchair, he's with you when nobody else is, literally supporting your ass. You got to pay for them too. And when you get home and you tell your family your stories, your mother, your brother, your sister, your father, there's a look on their face where they don't really get it because they didn't and they don't. See, you roll in your own goddamn house a minority of one, the only cripple there. And there's a deep sorrow in that. But see, it's not all bad, because everyone rallies around you and says, welcome to our tribe. And that's a beautiful fucking thing. Julian, always remember, we are not alone. The wheelchair doesn't fucking matter.
Fun fact about this poet, like most of Jackson's poems are like freestyle.
For Jackson.
There's like a bare bone skeleton to it, and then a lot of it is riffed.
Slam team with Jackson in 2018, and I'm telling you, I have heard 32 different versions of this poem.
Judge,
It's different.
I can see that one too.
The screen is frozen over here.
It is also frozen on my end, and not like,
There we
go.
There it is.
There are drinks. We have a 1 drink minimum. So
please nobody buy me a drink.
cider, beer.
Although, like when I get to the Plough and we're all at the Plough, buy me a drink because support the Plough. Speaking of the Plough has a the Starry Plough, our venue for the Berkeley Slam, has a GoFundMe. They reached their initial goal of $30,000, but because of the ongoing crisis with COVID, and because entertainment venues are the last to expect to bounce back, they've extended their goal to $100,000. So if you want to see us back in the same venue that we've been in since 1998, go to the Starry Plough's Facebook page. They have a link to their GoFundMe. Support the venues that are supporting us.
So, the more drinks I have, the more fun you will have. I'm
That's
drinking
not
that.
the truth. The more drinks I have, the more fun I'll have. You didn't get drunk.
Maximum love.
How much is the Starry Plough raised so far?
Last time I checked, they raised almost $40,000, but that was like 2 weeks ago. So like I could be totally wrong.
Wow.
Ooh, I love this poem. This is one of my favorite poems. Also fresh cut.
Oh wait, that's me.
Oh, was that one a fresh cut?
What was that?
So a white person with dreads comes up to me and has me fucked up. You take up too much space to take up space for me too. You write about brutality you don't experience as if your whiteness is erased by your queerness. As if your queerness could erase your privilege. It's not an accurate narrative if you leave out your place in the pyramid as the oppressor. You don't get to speak on my oppression from any angle but the aggressor. Your revolution is colonizing my tongue with a rainbow flag and using it to speak about whiteness without indicting yourself when all of y'all are guilty. I like my races in plain sight. And your hair may as well be a Nazi logo you can't see.
That's the camera agreeing.
Color blindness or the erasure of Black heritage or manifesting something interesting about yourself because y'all love taking Black culture while talking over Black people. If you were a real ally, you'd show up to protests looking like those clean-cut white folks who the police don't get caught on. You'd be on the front lines when they come with the tear gas and the rubber bullets and the tanks. You take the first hit so that my Black ass wouldn't have to for a change. Or, at the very least, you'd offer to pay me to educate you instead of walking up like you deserve my time, my words, or my presence. I get paid to teach. And I don't do labor for free, especially for white people. That's slavery.
Tell them.
It's just like y'all. You demand Black time and existence, simultaneously upholding systemic slavery while also denying you play a part just because you got matted hair you call dreads and write about trauma you don't experience. Go fucking figure. Y'all always want to be a nigga until it comes time to be a nigga. Then you'd probably end up like your hair, damaged beyond recognition because you lack the strength or the depth it requires to embody anything Black.
So when I first saw my phone, I was like, oh no, I'm gonna drop this poem. But
Can we pause right here real quick?
Let's pause right here. Because a lot happened after this
What's
moment.
going on right now? As Reggie is on stage, a white man is approaching my DJ table.
I'm sitting at the DJ table
to complain about Chardonnay's poem. Had to be escorted out the building. I was about to fight his ass because he didn't want to leave.
A 7.6 goes up to an 8.1, an 8.0.
I can be a biased host.
9.0.
People are hurt.
As a dreadhead nigga.
Let's just give a shout out to Reggie, because Reggie's a really good host right now. Because Reggie does not know a man's about to die in the back.
Watching white people profit, get cute, get uplifted off of things that like I can't do. I've been denied jobs due to my hair. I've never seen a white person with dreads get denied a job.
or anything else other than access or easy access to Black culture.
Right. So it's not the fact that you can have the hair, because you can, it's gonna damage your shit, but you can do it. It's the fact that I can't, and it's my culture.
Yeah.
That's the most pissed off thing.
That's whack.
Goes, what is the face of the facade? You wish to humble the mountains you shake. What fools wish to crumble beneath their own earthquake? 6 feet from the edge, and I believe that the height of deliverance is much further than a now. 6 feet above, and flying is a verb when your wings pave the way. A floor to never be fallen upon. There is no sky if you never fall down. Can we purify the oceans between flames and glory? Can we distinguish between the world and soot? A chessboard of our favorite pieces, predominantly placed but never sought more than where they were put. A king to cap, a queen to wander, and a knight to exceed. 2, 4th, left, north, checkmate. Place your words without anyone to subjugate. Open your mind and you will see the facade of faces, the reality we believe.
She's looking like Lana Del Rey. I love it.
All right.
Did you say Lana Del Rey?
You want to look like right now.
One score. 2 scores. 3 scores. 4 scores.
Ooh, I recognize that crop top.
And I mean, you already know how it be. All right. Keep it up till I read them out. We have a low of a 7.2. Can you turn that towards me a little bit? Sorry, we have a low of a 7.1, a 7.2, an 8.2, a 9.0, and a 9.0. Fuck the scores. Give it up for the poet.
Was that me screaming on the sideline?
Shift in scores.
Okay.
And we're only on like what, the third poet?
To our bar, but did you know we got a kitchen if you go directly back here,
so during this time, I'm shouting out the Starry Plough's like amazing kitchen. Like shout out to Alora and everyone in the kitchen holding it down. You can also support the Starry Plough by buying gift cards. You can't use them now, but it's a way to show your support now, give them some money now, and then use it later once we can all come back together.
Thank you so much.
Donate to the Starry Plough and get e-gift cards. That way we can keep venues open that have been supporting not just local poetry, but local arts for like 30, 40 years and beyond. Like
Gabrielle,
neighborhood Berkeley institution definitely supports it.
Give it up for Hobby!
Or just, give them money.
This poem.
Because, money is better than credit.
Yes.
Just give them money.
Give them both.
Both. Or both. Even better.
Give them both. Mm-hmm. Also, Javi is the only bitch on the planet that can stunt on me in nothing but a black turtleneck. Hella mad.
Is that
the
a
point
top?
of loving someone if they cannot love the wretched out of you? I could say I love you. I could drown in it. I could learn to embroider and stitch love in the bands of all my underwear. I could become a dentist and pull love from every stupid man's teeth. I could learn to form a snowball from all the white that melts around me. Maybe I string the stars out from that ugly night in '94 and never even born myself. Maybe I call a constellation my mother's maiden name, and even now it's still just a beautiful thing made to die. Maybe
isn't Javi a nurse?
Beautiful, so I never.
Javi is a nurse. What also pisses me off is that Javi really only started writing poetry to be friends with someone who used to come to the slam. And I find disrespectful that you started off this.
I am learning every new face for shame, and each one I want to kiss me. Trust me. I'd love nothing more than to stop thinking about being brown, but I can't do that while also being brown. I wasn't born with shame, just an affinity to want what does not want me back. I wake up brown, fall asleep queer, and in between I learn every mispronunciation for my name. Tell me, the first time he rips me in two, he stitches me back so well. When I wake, I never even notice the seam across my stomach. Show me the future when I forget enough to make the same mistakes again. I don't want to be queer as in constantly thinking of what has wronged me, but queer as in I don't build with flammable things anymore. I don't pray myself away. The only times my hands kiss is in laughter. I clap so loud my palms are dry next week. I laugh so full even my bones have wrinkles. I queer so well if I die the skies will part with joy. The air so crisp the world finally will inhale free from keeping a bitch like me down, and boom, I'm in heaven, or boom, I am heaven. I'm just biding time until I too can be something worth worshiping. I don't need someone to miss me. I need my mom to speak to me the same. I need God to need me as much as you say I need God. I'm building myself a heaven while all I do is watch everything that has made me cry like it is the first time that has made me cry, and still it cannot hurt me. I smile and call the gentle bend a sickle. I harvest myself. Each embrace turns into a bouquet of flowers no one ever picks. No one here to hurt me on purpose or on accident, out of convenience or spite. My blood, nothing but a vessel I never have to see. I love and love and love and God if I don't have room for more.
Someone to just if I could just get a jar of Javi's words and just pour it over my body and let it physically change me.
I feel really bad.
Can someone make that happen? That poem is so fucking beautiful. I cannot even that makes no sense. I can't even put into words how what that makes me feel. Beautiful ass words. Oh my god.
Universal healthcare in this bitch. Fuck the bullshit. I need vision.
Javi does have a poem on Bay Poetry Night.
If you
so it's not a jar of words, but it's a video of words.
I can get my fix somehow.
Okay, I can see that score. That's
also,
how dark I need
Reggie
that
is
score.
getting
Thank you. Idris Elba
deliveries right now.
All right, let them know how you feel.
Things.
We got a low of an 8.8. It goes up to a 9.
Stimulants.
A 9.6.
These scores are homophobic.
8.6, and it goes up to a 9.6. Give it up for the poet.
This scores for real said, I hate the gays.
I don't know if the judges have a group chat, but we're halfway through this list, so please stay consistent. On deck, we have Upside Down Ghost, but give maximum love to the next poet coming up on stage. Give it up for Gabrielle!
It's another one of those. Didn't show up.
The way Reggie just wrapped around that microphone.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that like I'm somebody's father. Please, I would never have kids in this economy. Oh my goodness. No. Just no. Remember, condoms are cheaper than kids. Practice safe sex. So on.
Scathing takedown.
Let me know when this live stream gets taken down. On deck, we have Tino.
That has only happened once still.
But give maximum love for the next poet coming up on
Live
stage.
stream being taken down.
Give it up.
What did I miss? I was getting a delivery.
Oh yeah, your enhancements delivery.
Let's be honest.
Who was upset? Who was upside down ghost?
Oh, this is upside down ghost.
Almost beat that white man's ass.
All right, y'all got time. Hurry up.
Well, I am curious about that story. Oh yeah, he went off mic, I think.
We got you.
This guy went off mic.
You can't sell dreams to someone who is.
Oh, you can still hear him.
As the light glares on my slight stare, and I can't even count how many nights where the fridge
I'm
light
100% sure that it's during this poem where I went outside.
Prayer, this life is
that was
not
going on.
shit. It's only Tuesday, and if we make moms miss that bus to work in the morning, that's ass.
It was wild.
Too young to feel this way, but I'm the man of the house.
Do we wanna-
No spouse, unknown man.
Do you want to talk
around
about
any
that story
damn
or?
house. And my mama kept it real like that.
We talking about this.
Black mother, you know what I'm talking about. Fuck your car, fuck your money, fuck what you look like. I got 2 damn kids in this house, and I'll be damned if I let some random nigga up in here bullshitting.
That energy.
But it's 3 a.m. and she's crying on the other side of that door. That damn locked door. The worst sound in the world I heard was her body hit the dresser in the floor. And whore and bitch, shit, I'm 6. What the hell am I do? He's 6'2", little sister in a fit, lip split, phone cord ripped from the wall. So who gonna call the police? Because the neighbor sure ain't. Watching her unblackened eyes and put on her disguise that she just didn't get beat within an inch of her life last night to my despise. Now tell me, is this the sound when doves cry? See, when the police come, don't act dumb. No. Life, child abuse, and the misuse of alcohol.
Anybody can put a Prince reference in a poem.
Solicit, because once you picture it, you're gonna be just as fucked up as I am. Thank you.
So, like, at this point, like, mind you, I'm going like on and off stage dealing with a belligerent white man who wants to fight literally everyone who comes in contact, and I'm a fire sign. So like, if you want to fight, like, I'm definitely like the one. So like, imagine trying to stay professional.
Imagine me who don't give a fuck.
Didn't have shit to be professional about.
Hey,
I just play music. I gotta beat your ass and play music.
Hey, that's not how you feel. We got a low of an 8.5. It goes up to a 9.2, a 9.5, a 9.5, and a 9.7. Give it up for the poet.
Can we skip this next part? I'm not really feeling this next part.
All right.
Who's next?
We got Gang Gang. But give it up for the next person coming up on stage. Give it up Martino!
Wow, you knew when you were coming in. Wow.
Oh my God.
No, because they announced it. Like they told us when we were coming up. Like so.
Take your time, poet.
I'm trying.
Make them wait.
Can we please? I don't know what I read. What did I read?
I don't even know. Probably Monarchs.
I bet
We're about to find out.
Polished ice.
Look at this. Who is that cutie? Looking like somebody's loving their life.
I've lost track of the amount of times I was assumed to be Native American by white people.
Plexiglass.
It is a frequent occurrence. Someone somewhere will always reduce me to my looks, my hair, a footnote, a how salute across the Santa Cruz levee, a spirit animal they have no right to claim. It's like I'm plexiglass at a museum. They see through me, and it's like Western expansion never happened. And unsuccessful in their inquisition, they were necessary to Columbus this body, to put the foot in the mouth and ask questions of, hey, yo, what tribe are you from? Do you speak Cherokee? You must be Aztec. You have that long, pretty hair like that, right? But they gawk in disbelief when I say that I identify as Mexican American for not being the Pocahontas to their fantasies, but daring to make brown and beautiful synonymous without the permission of their white skin. And I have no idea what you mean by Indian, Native, or Indigenous, but you will never fail to tell me shit. The 1/16th of your mom's side raises the dead in your blood and speaks to me like you know better than I do. Like there's always been a land, language, or name that aren't the reason I'm reminded of all the things that I can't claim for my own.
Oh, I dropped the poem right here. That's right.
Oh, no.
I dropped the poem. I remember. This is why.
It's worst nightmare.
Benefits the most from the displacement, as no one ever died for you to be here. Like it's found all the English that most inappropriate looks. Value ourselves with plexiglass raises none of these questions. Become complacent in the identity you place them in. Still uses white skin as a common denominator. The object which you all gaze through shows you some racist caricature, brimming of a culture you claim you're all familiar with. Then disregard the native bodies that are alive. I'm not pressed against the glass, so close you don't ask consent to touch. Like Winston's Bible, some extinct species waiting for me to reach forward in my grandmother's tongue. And wouldn't that be nice for you? A minstrel show, to speak like my grandmother. Like I didn't attempt to write down every word she told me when I was 14, only to have her say, mijo. There is no alpha for that. And you see, this is how you always give in to the gaze. Hate how you use the oppressor still wish to hold on to your indigeneity. Like that's supposed to mean something, like you want this brown skin to earn its dignity. A name, a language, maybe a right to land, maybe a right to call upon his ancestors without shame, without feeling like plexiglass, like a corpse on display. Glitter for all the wrong features to be attracted to. Colonizers should not be allowed to speak on the identities of those whose land they still occupy. You're not going to find my body, acknowledge its beauty until you recognize genocide in your blood is unwashable. I will stuff my boot down your third porch with one more question on my heritage that is unsolicited. This is not be to celebrate, not be to speculate. This body is not for you to behold or define. Yes, while we're at it, I look better than you. Get over it.
That's such a Leo poem. That's such a fucking Leo poem.
Round of applause for the poet.
Wow, that is such a Leo into the poem.
Actually,
it took me forever to figure out the ending. I don't know how to end it. And Andy was just like, well, how, like, you got to put some personality into how do you think would be the best way to end it? Like, rub it in someone's face. I'm like, oh. Okay, I see where you're going.
Andy's great.
Is like one of like top 5 white women of all time.
Word Church down in Santa Cruz.
Yeah, speaking of Andy, you should all check out the Word Church in Santa Cruz. They have an open mic
We got a
Monday at Legendary Collective. People. You should definitely check
we got a low of 7.5.
But you cut out. Can you repeat that?
9.2, a 9.3, and a 9.
Yeah, every Monday on Instagram Live, the Santa Cruz Word Church open mic happens. You can check them out at Legendary Collective for more information on how you can sign up and get involved. They're really lovely people. And a really great
scene. I'm pretty sure I'm hosting the next show next Monday.
You're hosting the next show? You put the hoe in host. I love it.
But did you see that? Someone just went and threw money in
the
there.
show. We're coming up into
I wish people would throw money at me like in real life when I'm not on stage.
Our last chance slam.
Just throw money.
Chance slam is the last person to make it into
throw money at my naked body and then leave.
It culminates into finals, and we will find out who is the Grand Slam champ, as well as who will make.
No, we didn't. No, the fuck, we did not.
Yeah, I wish they could still donate money to us now.
Fuckers, all the way to Dallas, Texas.
Money,
Poetry Slam.
Yeah,
and
you can donate money to the Berkeley Slam.
I stayed single.
Cash App.
A lot of money.
No, we don't.
So we need your help.
We do have Patreon.
You can drop $1, $2, $3.
Patreon.com/Berkeley Slam. You can donate. It gives us the ability to plan, budget, and grow. But most importantly, it's going to give us a leg up when things come back. You know,
but if I want to donate,
you don't want the shows that you love to be operating from a deficit after this.
We have a Patreon.
Now is the time to build up
Poetry Slam.
Support
Go to
and collective funds to support our community. When we are able to meet back in person, it's also a way to show this.
Get bigger. If you want to have a say in what
organizing Berkeley right now are doing a lot of free labor to present you with slams, and with slams, watch parties, and all sorts of content like videos and live streams. So donating goes a long way, and not just being able to grow our work, but even just thank you to the people that are doing the hard work already.
So while that's going
you've
on,
enjoyed anything you've seen in the last couple weeks, BerkeleySlam.com, not BerkeleySlam.com, Patreon.com/BerkeleySlam. God damn, this hurricane got me fucked. I don't think this person was there.
Wait.
Oh no, was this audience just dry?
Yeah, audience was dry as hell.
Okay.
A lot of poets before, but let's rewind.
Like well lubricated audience. You have to act like you want to be there. Like there's no point in you coming to a room. Like I don't know like what poetry readings y'all have been in, but like there's no point in coming into a room and listening to live art if you're not gonna clap, if you're not gonna cheer, if you're not gonna show people that you want to be there. This
it's
isn't
like going to a concert and being mad when people bump into you.
Look, if we didn't want y'all niggas to clap, we would have just started these slings on Zoom.
Right. Like if
but give maximum love.
Maximum love.
Up to this stage.
Like 1,000% love. Oh my God. It was Colin.
Hey.
Looking like Chun Li.
Looking like Bun Lee.
Yo, y'all remember Bumblebee from Teen Titans?
Yes. Colin, we have it.
Justice League Apocalypse War. It's very sad. Teen Titans get their ass.
Wait, what poem did I do?
I think this is reverse racism.
I'm pretty sure you did.
So people like to ask me, hey Colin,
oh no,
how do you smoke so much fucking weed?
Yes,
that's a fair question. So I tell them that in my hood, marijuana smoke ain't what niggas really choking on. See, here, cannabis and asthma are the dynamic duo. I know more niggas carrying inhalers than Glocks. Albuterol be the only strain we got in rotation. Puff, puff, pass all our drugs prescription here. See, my city likes to look at San Rafael across the water. We say that something's wrong with them. They live in a carefree bubble, must be the privilege or the small balls, and it smells like clean oxygen. And the way the grass is always greener on the other side of the bridge, because over there, even the plants breathe a little bit better. Truth be told, clean air has never been part of my city's history. There is no history of deeply rooted blackness in my city. Most of us still got living generations that remembers being uprooted from places like Texas, Alabama, Arkansas. The local refinery lured most of our grandparents out of the deep south with promises of wealth from ebony gold. World War II brings in more job opportunities working in the shipyards, and that's when Richmond became a black city. When niggas could work an 80-hour work week and only get paid in asbestos, asthma, mesothelioma. My people came here to poison themselves out of poverty, to leave a legacy for future generations, only to help poison the air with the same toxins that will kill their children. And I wonder, if my grandmother knew that legacies could kill, would she have migrated here in the first place? Traded charcoal cross for black lungs? Would she have worked her entire life just to pass down another burden? My inheritance is an oxygen mask, a stuttered breath, hospital visits with calm instructions to breathe in, breathe out. Like I somehow just forgot how to breathe or never bothered to learn. My mother always said, before you can learn to run, you gotta learn to walk. Before walking, crawling, before crawling, breathing. So don't you dare judge me. Just let me smoke my weed. I promise I'll be fine, even if I cough, even if I choke. Believe me, I've spent most of my life wheezing. This is, after all, the cleanest breath I've ever taken.
Call it a moment, a word. Just basically, after listening to this poem, anytime white environmentalists try to tell me, a black person, how to act, how to care for the earth, how to talk, shut the fuck up.
As a black person who used
it ain't my black ass fucking shit up. Like, that's not me. I'm getting fucked over, yo.
Right, as a black person who used to work for one of the largest environmental nonprofits in the country, the most frustrating thing with working with white environmentalists is having to convince them that black people care about the environment. Just because we don't talk about polar bears. It's like when white people talking about the environment, they talk about whales and polar bears and penguins, but people of color talk about the environment.
I'm trying not to get poisoned by my water supply.
Right. We're talking about how East Oakland, there's parts of East Oakland that have more lead in their water than Flint, Michigan.
Exactly.
We're talking about how Richmond has 3 times the national average of asthma because we're sitting in the middle of a refinery air. We're talking about how you can literally wipe the smog off of windows in West Oakland.
Exactly.
We don't give a fuck about polar bears because polar bears are not the ones that are going to die first. Black people are dying every day because of lung disease, heart disease, all things that are caused by environmental factors. So when we say care about the environment, what we're saying is care about black people.
Know who our feature is.
Care about black and indigenous folks, bro. Like,
and let's not even begin to talk about the thousands of year-long history of black and indigenous people living in harmony with the land.
Stewarding, taking care of our business, not polluting, not
just taking care of our business, but minding our business.
That part, yo.
Last poet of the first.
Without Western expansion, there wouldn't be no degradation of the environment at the scale in which we are doing it now.
Exactly.
But
who's coming up now? Okay.
Your activism is wrapped up in imperialism.
Blue, let's talk about it.
Also, can we call them what they are? Not environmentalists, eco-fascists.
Eco-fascist. You mad corny, bruh, if you think that people need to die for the earth to, that's weird, that's whack.
That's white. You literally just said black and brown lives are expendable to a white agenda of environmentalism. We're not ready for that.
Yo, make it make sense.
Sorry. Me and Colin have a talk series.
That was my respect for eco-fascists right there.
You have a talk series?
We have a talk series where we talk about black issues through one of our platforms, and we should schedule a talk with you about black environmentalism.
Oh yes, I have
so much to say. I have so much to say because I'm not environmentalist. I took that job at the environmental nonprofit for money.
Yeah,
all of it. I came out of there caring about the environment because they didn't give a fuck.
Let's talk about it. Yes.
It rested on the tip of my tongue as if it was the side of a building I might have jumped off of. In the end, I couldn't follow through on either of my dastardly plans. I swallowed like the bottom I am and was ready to take whatever this place thought of throwing my way. Until someone broke out the deck of Uno, then it was like I became a kid again. There were puzzles and cards and snacks, meal times, bedtimes, gym times. It was like the days of ignorant childhood. It was so much fun. I might forget what got me here. It was just a shadow of the storm looming overhead. The nightmare of acknowledging the harm I intended for myself. The snowball I aimed to throw at myself. The scarlet river I wished to drown in almost became a flood. Almost became my new home, almost swallowed me whole. I'm out now, but my feet still rest in the water. But at least I'm mostly on dry land now. The tides weren't as strong as I was. I had the power to resist the temptation to float downstream to nowhere. I won the battle of today. The war goes on tomorrow, but today, I choose to breathe. Today, I choose to be grounded. Today, of all days, I choose life.
Keep that round of applause going for Kalalia. All
Take care of
right.
yourselves, folks.
Yes, please take care of yourself.
Please.
Fucking love it.
Like
Especially
beyond just slam, beyond just like slam or poems.
Yeah.
Or,
All
like,
right.
But like, especially now, it's super important. We're all like, it's a stressful time. Things are important. Prioritize yourself.
Had an entire poem.
Prioritize yourself and your well-being. Prioritize yourself and your
Always
well-being
demanding
right now.
giving them some shit.
Fuck productivity. Fuck capitalism. Fuck your job. Fuck school. Fuck everything. It's about making sure that you are able to survive.
Goes up
So
to an
do what you need to do. Reach out. And you can reach out to
9.3, a 9.5,
like,
and a 9.
there's plenty of resources. You can post them in the comment section later, or you can always message us, and
all right.
We can always forward you to resources in our community and in our local area. You're not alone.
First rounds. Don't worry, there'll be more. But
now's the feature that I missed because the entire time I was outside fighting.
It's Ashia Ajani. You can make some noise for our feature. I'm just gonna read her bio real quick.
I be reading people's bios like I'm literate.
Wait, what? Don't read what? Okay.
Okay.
Johnny is a
This
black
was an old bio that I sent you.
Denver, Colorado.
That exchange was.
She is a graduate of Yale University. She is an environmental studies major with a specialization in environmental
I'm still
justice.
processing my 4 years there.
Sounds like
her work confronts Black environments
academia, especially white academia, can be a lot, but
that was a whole other.
She has been published in Atlas.
East Coast white folks are different. Like that's a different kind of white. Oof.
You're stronger than me because I dropped out of a West Coast community college because of microaggressions.
Fire literature and art,
I was like,
among others. She released her first chapbook, We Bleed Like Mango, in October of 2017.
Great chapbook, by the way.
My baby.
I still have it.
A nice, loud, welcoming, low-key ratchet.
If we wanted to get
high-key.
That's a good question.
Firstly, round of applause for your feature tonight.
Because I do not have access to a printer, I am currently out of production. But it's okay. Read my stuff online. On to bigger and better things too.
Also, this was a whole ass look.
I missed my nails.
Okay, pop up.
It's the return of the witch, bitch. Let's go.
I miss my nails, bro.
Comes on Bay Poetry Night, by the way. You can go watch it. It's great.
I believe that my ancestors were the first environmentalists. That my grandmother's arthritic hands caressed the world of eco-friendly practice with the same tenderness she patched up old clothes for rewear and wrote doctor's appointments on lightly used napkins. Because for us, Earth was never an afterthought. Because for us, sustainable was survival. Reuse and recycle wasn't none but something to do to get by. Plastic bags make excellent lunch sacks, shower caps, and gift bags. Empty butter tubs become motels for leftovers. And if you're using cooking grease once, you're doing it wrong. I get a high just thinking about coconut balm melting into wrinkled palms as they dried my soft baby hairs with old t-shirts. How pleasant the memory is of restoration. Nothing gets thrown away because it is still useful in the afterlife. Empty glass bottles once containing ginger beer and olive oil become homes for the marigolds from the garden out back. Isn't it so funny how we cultivate flowers of death in a house that contains so much life? When my grandmother passed on, the house became a mausoleum, everything preserved and crystallized as I grew. Mainstream feminism chokes the life out of ancestral knowledge as you run towards an acceptance that is maybe less sweet but more valid. The white girls who made fun of me in middle school for bringing leftovers to lunch are the same ecofeminists who prey on black and brown land as though the lyric and the dirt were both stolen, as if ecofeminism isn't yet another movement that has been co-opted, never acknowledging the privilege necessary for the means. I mean, kale and collard greens are sister plants. One just lives a couple blocks south than the other. Are you too busy using our hoods as your playgrounds to read up on how a food apartheid is plaguing black and brown neighborhoods? It is so easy to hide behind a choice while you pick your teeth with an agenda. Reusable pads and menstrual panties ain't nothing new. Just capitalize brown folks' work who are one with the goddess and clean up after our own messes. Even I have betrayed my upbringing. I throw away old newspaper as though the ink were poison, and food waste has become a running joke among my selfish finger and the trash can. It is so easy for me to forget, so easy for me to take my stepping stool and leave, so easy for me to unplug the drain and not worry about water to soak the greens, wash the dishes, and clean the floor. My grandmother's shame, making the hair on the back of my neck rise as if I am so close to healing, but not quite there yet. I like to believe that if I'm honest about my shortcomings, I make room to be forgiven in the next life. That when my flesh finally becomes something smaller than I could ever wish to become, I can give back all I have taken and become dust, the finest truth. The rain falls and baptizes me in the afterlife, a soft kiss from the ancestors as if to say, baby, come back home.
It's so weird watching me do this in real time.
Jesus.
I'm a real
Fuck you,
person
Ashia.
thinking real thoughts, doing real things. That's crazy.
Amazing things.
Hello.
Amazing thoughts.
I am
Watching myself host this show is like low key like dissociating, except I'm in complete control this time.
Of the Apache tribes.
The thing is, I'm a Gemini, so I'm like a different bitch every single day. And like watching this, I was like, this is me lifetimes ago. This is me so many different lifetimes ago.
Bro, that was like 3 months ago. Chill out.
Exactly, chill out.
Wait, are you a June Gemini or a May Gemini?
No, I'm a May
May
Gemini. My
Gemini.
birthday was last Friday.
My birthday is next Monday.
Wait, you and my mom have the same birthday.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
May 22nd?
Mm-hmm. Hey. Yo, that's crazy. Oh my god.
Have with land. And that's gonna
May
be
Gemini's aight.
But instead,
So are you close enough to a May Gemini to count?
talk
You would have hit that June 3rd?
No, Gemini fans, except for like 1 or 2, I've always gotten along very well.
Gemini men in general.
I said except for like 1 or 2.
Gemini is a gossip. Often
Only
used to
his phone.
describe nosy people, women in particular, who simply enjoy the exchange, processing, and creation of new information. Also known as a magpie, also known as a chatterbox, also known as a bitch, cunt, loudmouth. The roots of the English word for gossip are god and sib, originally meaning godparent, originally meaning someone not within the nuclear family who took an interest in your upbringing and personal development, originally meaning spiritual guide, protector, and mentor. I was birthed into a circle of gossips, raised by chismosas. This is how I learned safety. In my neighborhood, someone knows where you are at all times, what you are doing, what you're supposed to be doing, and your mama's contact information. Before cell phones, we spent our childhood dodging Mrs. Shirley's watching.
It don't gotta be like that. You could just see me minding my business.
News passes around the neighborhood faster than it can come into existence. Be careful with your business. Nothing gets past an old black lady with too much time on her hands and too much church in her spirit. Did you know Dee's husband got shot on the corner of Federal and 24th? Ernesto beat his wife within an inch of her life. She stuffs crumpled dollar bills in the couch cushions now. The city came and swept up the memorial for those 5 missing girls. Everyone thought it was some dumbass kids, but no, the state doesn't like our grief to be displayed in the open. Pam died and the bank immediately seized her property. How could they be so cruel? This world takes from us in too many ways. You think our entire existence is being foreclosed on. During the early days of this new blood-drenched nation, slave owners would put a muzzle made of leather and metal on enslaved females, a device that would lacerate the tongue if they dare speak. The fear of a woman's word so ingrained they had to pluck it away at the root. Fast forward 400 years and we done got too mouthy now. Funny how we speak like we got something to say.
Anti-COVID signs.
Bullets have turned into missing persons reports, bled into dust. This white hand be the death of my kinfolk, passing off chisme as mindless dribble. We keep alive past history the nation state would rather we forget. At least we have our tongues. At least I have my loud mouth and I will use it whenever I damn well please. I grew up honoring gossip as sacrament. I am an open heart, ready to take in the Lord's body and all the wisdom dropped between the cracks of so ordained development.
They'll kill you and say you liked it.
Animal,
you better go and
unintelligent.
kill like them motherfuckers.
Matter here says I don't believe you. Ask where's your proof? Says it must not be that bad. Calls you savage for speaking your mind. Says shut up you black bitch. Says bring back the muzzle. Says why won't you just be quiet? When you call me a chismosa, I say I am keeping my people safe the best way I know how. Always watching, harboring memories left on the tip of the tongue. I am dark and alive and alive and alive, and as long as I have this breath, I will use it.
Some attitude at the end. I will use it. Man, I think I will. Do you ever like when you're listening to your poems, do you ever just like be like making edits that you would make like in your head? Like I've just been making edits.
It's possible to watch yourself do poetry and not like pick yourself apart.
I don't know. With this recent election, everybody talking about the South. Yeah, this poem just kind of like fell out of me. Wrote it in a day, thought a lot about it, and also memorized it in a day, so I apologize for what's about to happen next.
Wow, the personality, the flex. You said inches, bitch.
This is my favorite poem that I've written. I love this poem a lot. I'm not even gonna lie. This is my favorite one.
I didn't intentionally spurn the forest. Rather, became another question of Southern belonging I didn't have the patience to unravel. Must have been when the little white kids next door asked if we wanted to play cowboys and Indians, and all I could think of was the split in my conquered DNA that stood on both ends of the chastening rod. Maybe it was when a man held a shotgun to the back of my mentor's head while we were out in the field, asked, "Whose land you think you on, boy?" Neither of ours. We just learned to love it because it was the only thing that granted us some semblance of peace. My mentor says he has encountered poisonous snakes in the Panamanian jungle, and this scared him less than doing research in the deep South. Snakes are usually more afraid of you than you are of them. Same goes for white folks, but Lord, how I prefer a fang to a trigger finger. I didn't intentionally spurn the darkness until they tried to claim ownership of that which once sheltered us, when all that was hunt and run drenched all my endings in bloodlust through this violent cat and mouse condition, the inherent trickery of my blood begging me to stay grounded when all I could imagine was flight. The voices in these woodlands are alive and they carry a vengeance. And maybe this is why white people fear the dark and what it holds. We marvel at its ability to hold, call it semantics, a cultural linguistic loophole, our right to something. Abuela weaves sweet tales of the backwoods that were once hers, long after the plantation manifestation made a mockery of her inheritance. The trees held their secrets in conversation with rope and flame, but I can't help but envision my abuela running, laughing, running not from any one thing, but towards the witching hour our foremothers found refuge in. Mississippi is a graveyard of all my kin's wildest ambitions, how we play pretended Americanness until it felt real enough to sink into, until it didn't shield us from the light, until this superfund affliction reminded us of the well-earned savagery in our marrow. A nation built on killing darkness does not prosper in the light. Rather, it dwindles under its own unearned pursuit for resplendence. I run from what my ancients trusted, and isn't that the most heart-wrenching betrayal of my blood? To deny myself access to the blackest parts of this earth. My great-great-great-grandmother's phantom footsteps litter this forest floor like dead leaves, dead slaves. And isn't that what this bloodline always returns to? The ill-earned, the ill-understood trauma of existing between shadow and soul. Black people breathe life into the dark and call it home. Black as the earth that birthed the bright cotton, this Mississippi madness, home. This wild, expansive blackness, home. Mississippi, on my good days, I imagine you soft and lazy, draped in all that green, all that darkness, all that unloved black.
Okay. For this last poem, can we just talk briefly about this poem? Like the poem you just did. Can we pause that? Because like, I think like it's that poem brings up so much because it's like we do forget when we talk about the South. The South has the largest concentration of Black Americans. We often forget that when we say, oh, the South is nothing but racist white people, that they have people to be racist towards.
Yes, who bear the brunt of that racism.
Right. And so like when we just write off the South, like what we're doing is writing off the people that are living in those racist ass conditions. Right, and has held it down. Like the majority of Black activism has happened in the South. The majority of Black movements have started in the South. And just as somebody who is only like 2 generations removed from the South, y'all need to put some respect on
because
that's where your granny's from.
Exactly, that's where your granny's from. Like if you are of like the West African diaspora of that, you know, transatlantic slave tradition, your kin probably originated in the South, somewhere in the South. And of course that movement happened, it expanded, you know, but you like that is where it started for y'all. Exactly. That is where you started.
Right.
Respect that. Don't be on some weird uppity northern western bullshit because I'm seriously, some like correct me if I'm wrong, but some of the niggas like in especially like where I'm from, like Denver and stuff, y'all wouldn't last a day.
Wouldn't last a day.
Dealing with some of the shit that like Black folks like our kin go through in the South.
Look, I was sitting on my front porch the other night while there was a shootout, and I would not last like a week in the South with the shit that they put
like that's the reason that like Black folks got so much problem with blood pressure. Can you imagine like living down there constantly? Yo, I could, you know what? Put some respect.
And you over here eating chitlins? Come on, it's not a good thing.
You gotta shout out to everybody, to all the Black people that are living in the South.
Yes.
And holding it down for.
I had to get up out of there. Tornadoes and racism is not for me.
Ooh.
Y'all holding it down. Y'all are producing. Hey, y'all gave us Beyonce, Meg Thee Stallion. You know.
For better or for worse, y'all gave us Soulja Boy. I fucks with it. So, you know, like seriously, thank you to
yes.
Black people and the people of color in the South. Y'all are not forgotten.
Yeah.
We see you. We love you. Reach out. Hop on our open mic. We need more Southern people on our
exactly. We need more Southern voices.
We have a virtual open mic every Wednesday, or a virtual slam every Wednesday. You should check it out. You can sign up. Who is let me look back and see who our next feature is.
Anita D.
Our next feature, June is gonna be lit. We got June 3rd, Anita D. June 10th, we got Mechamorphosis. June 17th, we got our triplet, Jamon Hill. And then June 24th, we got Billy the Kid. So like, I don't know about y'all, but I'm like hella excited for June. So come check it out.
You're welcome.
You can check out our, if someone could put the link to our sign up list in the comment section, you can sign up. We would love to see you there.
The sign up list is also at the bottom of the event page. So if you go on Facebook and you look at Berkeley Slam featuring Anita D, it's at the end of the description.
Nice.
I'm about to do my gay poem.
First woman I love grips my scalp to the tune of Kiki Fantroy's laugh. Between scalp and follicle, blue magic. Between the body and the soul, queer. 2 years later, my therapist asks me to read up on trauma bonding. Some days, we make the binaries of colonization work for us. I ask, who will plead for us given the timeline we have been handed? If the world makes us bitter, ain't that something to chew on? Loving you is an act in how long I can make the fleeting happiness stay, when even the people who share our skin write our destruction into law. When the sorrow titrating down generations pools at the base of our spine. When the wound has been picked at so much one can't even call it flesh. When will it ever not hurt to get free?
Wow, I was really into this girl.
Okay.
She was a Scorpio.
Can we talk about how you said, like, started talking about like this beautiful moment and then followed it up with my therapist told me to look up trauma bonding. Like, wow. Way to like throw us all under the bus there.
Yeah, let's talk about it. I took a class with Claudia Rankin, and she told me that she didn't like this poem, but I like this poem a lot.
She did to my face in front of everybody. I was the only other Black person in the class, and she was like, "I don't like this poem," and I was like, "Sis."
And head back to their quiet houses.
Is she a Sagittarius?
No, she's a Capricorn, so like there is no lying.
Worse. As a Sagittarius Capricorn cusp, it's probably the worst cusp because we do know everything.
Yeah. Y'all do, and I trust y'all.
Them in the safety of home.
Y'all are sisters.
I can't believe he just said that, and I don't want to jump to any conclusions just yet. In this new history, a death is just a death, and we do not have to analyze its intricacies. All the child suicides are just a matter of sadness, no mention of the cracked skull of trauma or the violence that lingers. What has been broken is healed. All the wounds that surface from here on out bloom in grayscale. There exists no place on this earth that has not been enraged. So when the fires burn brightly into the jigaboo night and the ghosts of our sins weep tears of blood, all we can do is pray for some bit of peace until the next demonstration. Hide the evidence, turn on the TV, and watch how far we've come.
Jigaboo night is one of my favorite phrases, literally ever. Literally ever.
Yes, I have chapbooks.
I did. Past tense. No more.
Technology, and I hate technology.
I mean, if you wanted a chapbook, you should have bought one.
And I'm so sorry that they're not. So tonight they're on a sliding scale of $5 to $10.
I was so distracted by that.
I really do miss that audience.
We were still outside.
We weren't even inside yet. No.
Right, I was outside. During this time, outside, like, fighting.
Because generally...
I was being really goofy and defending an old white man who tried to fight me. I
day after
for me.
Come up to you and be like, oh my god, let's talk about your art. I'm just like,
That's
no,
kind of
thank
what happened.
What was I talking about?
Wow.
It is believed that femmes are the carriers of ancestral memory, that through our guidance we retain all of the secrets of this brief and bewildering existence. I tell you this because memory is tricky, and I want you to remember me by the end of this poem. Boy on dating app asks, do you really believe in that magic shit? Laughs when I say it's been my bloodline for millennia. Says seems like all girls want to be witches nowadays. Says I need to see it to believe. Says my wicked is sexy until it becomes too demanding. How easy they tell on themselves. Men want a witch woman until she acts as her own person. Until her tongue wraps around a lie and shatters it to its core. Until she sees the insecurity festering within you. All the boys I've loved prefer their women ghosts. Trapped in a love more reminiscent of obligation. Ghost woman never makes her lover's face the thing they are afraid of. She is not surprised when it is the shadow of her own eyes. Ghost woman softens her spine for you, lets her tongue become a stepping stone of your incomparable imagination. She is a body of give and give and give. All of my ghosts demand to be heard. I am a daughter of that which cannot be exterminated, magic. I am a crazy witch bitch because that is what my blood returns to. Witch woman is a bitch, knows that all of her kin are owed. Even the land knows whose flesh fed it. You cannot fool this legacy no matter how many untruths you cram into the dirt. Which woman dances under the full moon, lets her breasts swing free in the night breeze, lush with the strength of her own joy? Which woman is a communist, is a stargazer, is a dreamer? In the soft silhouette of a forgiving earth god, we learn to captivate our own selves. Here, we are free, brooding women of yam and corn and rice. When all the men weep at this modern day witch hunt, Tituba, Calypso, and all my other goddesses scream in agony. How fragile and frail this country's memory be, to sow victimhood from a rewritten past, to rejoice at the destruction of those who dared believe in something sweeter, who dared fight beyond worship of a false god built off the bones of the laborers who forged the children. My ancestors' blood salts the ocean, remembers the taste of my kin, and vengeance has been brewing. We witch bitches are coming for you. You cannot kill this kind of truth. I've got whole ecosystems on my side, how black earth gives way to bloom, how every part of me is a lesson in ecological survival, and ain't that glorious, ain't that magic, ain't that the goddamn truth.
Keep that round of applause going for Ashia.
Okay, like during this time, like
we're going
we
to
just
take
pause it, like right here.
break. I fucking mean it, y'all. 5.
Right here, I had just gotten done having to be held back from whooping somebody's ass outside. And do you see my makeup? Not fucked up. Do you see my demeanor? You couldn't even tell.
Not proud.
That's what professionalism is. I will whoop your ass outside at the venue and then come back on stage and host it like nothing ever happened. And that's what I love about the Berkeley Slam.
Period. Yo.
That was so fun.
During that time, get a drink, talk to a poet, let them know that you like their work. Please ask for consent before touching a poet or discussing their work in depth.
Go to Please ask for consent before you're racist. Wouldn't it be beautiful if somebody just came up and was like, can I be racist for a moment? And you could say no, and then you go about your
and then move on with the evening. Right. And it's just like, that's done.
Right. No, but it's always, let me be racist. Like,
please stay. It's going to be a wonderful night of poetry. But we'll get back to that in 5 minutes.
It was most definitely not 5 minutes. I remember smoking like a blunt and a half. I think we're ending it here. That was fun. It was great to be able to see your features.
I saw the second half of the last poem and was like, wow.
I'm glad you guys got to see it.
And also, like, it's nice looking back at these like old shows and like seeing yourself and all of your immediacy. Like,
yeah,
like
it's
there's
really
no preparing. There's no real filter. It's like what happens
Really...
and they have to roll with it.
Yeah.
And a lot happened this night. Like so much happened this night that like people keep forgetting like 3 people on the slam list just did not show up.
Right. And that wasn't the wildest thing that happened that night.
That was probably one of the least wild things that happened. The most wild thing is that I missed that feature to defend a white man. Like the biggest mistake of 2020.
We learn, we grow.
We literally grow. We literally grow. I love it. You know, like we are completely different people from who we were in March. Quarantine has changed. Like, especially like living, like I can't go back to normal. You tell me my job from home, drunk as fuck all day.
I wouldn't be surprised if my name from here on out is just Quarantino.
I honestly would not. Your new name is Quarantino.
And all of my drinks I call quarantine. Like a martini, but like every drink during quarantine.
I've been drinking on Slurricane. Who does that?
You do.
Are we still live?
That red button's still there.
Wow.
Yes, we are still live.
We should wrap up and give out some closing thoughts or something.
Thank y'all so much for watching and being a part of this experience. It's been wonderful. You can check us out here every week through Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, Berkeley Slam, Bay Poetry Night. Next week we will have an amazing feature, Anita Diaz. I'm so fucking excited for this. Oh my God. So yeah, we got like a bunch of great shows coming up. Also check out Bay Poetry Night, youtube.com/Bay Poetry Night for more clips of poetry from the Bay Area. That being said, that's our watch party. I've been Reggie. It's been nice. We will see y'all next week for our slam. Bye.